it's Rhian Michelle and I am back with another video. Sparkle, sparkle. So someone in my comments asked, can you describe the greatest moment of your life in your next video? And I thought it was the perfect opportunity to reminisce a little bit on a better time in the world. You feel me? Yeah. But before I get into it, I want to know what the greatest moment of your life was, so let me know in the comments below. Okay. I thought long and hard about what the greatest moment of my life was. And this one in particular, it's it. It's gotta be it, okay? I'm gonna pull up a post I made that day just to illustrate this moment. It says, well, I battled international flights, long layovers, and the Kathmandu baggage claim all by myself, and it was so absolutely worth every fret for this. Hello again, Nepal. I missed you. Oh man, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. So let me tell you a little bit about this. I don't know how many of you have ever traveled to a different country, but it can be a little bit crazy. I've actually been to Nepal 3 times. The first 2 times I went were with mission groups, so of course there were adults orchestrating the whole thing. I was just kind of following along, not really paying attention, you know what I mean? So this was the 3rd time I went, and I was 19, actually turned 20 on this trip, and I had only ever traveled alone 1 time. And I was going to a 3rd world country by myself. I was stressing a little bit, you know, as one does. So I traveled for about 38 hours just to get there. I had a 10-hour layover in Dubai. I was the only person on this huge international plane that was going to Terminal 2. So usually you just kind of follow the crowd, you know, at least that's what I do. So I was asking around all the staff and they sent me like 4 different directions. Until finally I get to this section and it is completely deserted except for the staff. And they're like, oh yeah, just go that way and get on that bus. And I was like, okay. And I get on this bus and I am the only person. I thought it was really weird that I was the only one. This guy comes running onto the bus and he's like, are you going to Terminal 2? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, I didn't know where to go, so I'm just gonna follow you. I was like, okay, you know, I hope we're going to the right spot. But anyways, we get to the terminal, it's fine. I wait all night, and then my flight was delayed by quite some time. So finally I get on the plane, and it's about a 5-hour flight. So I was sitting there stressing about how I was gonna be late to the place I was going, keeping in mind my phone wasn't going to work when I landed because I didn't get a SIM card, so my phone wasn't gonna have service until I got Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi at the Nepal airport does not work, okay? So once I landed, I was on my own. Like, I couldn't contact anybody, you know? I knew I needed to get my tourist visa, which is pretty easy to do when you land in Nepal. And I needed to get my luggage, which the baggage claim at the Kathmandu airport is crazy. You walk in and it's so crowded, there's luggage carts everywhere and just piles of suitcases. Like, I don't know if they just like yank them off and just throw them when they arrive, but there was like suitcases everywhere, you know? It takes some time, but I get my bag. Next thing I needed to do was exchange my money for rupees. Now, there was absolutely no order to this. There was only one guy working this exchange stand, okay? It was like whoever's hand was in front of him is who he's took, you know? There was no line. So I like wiggle my way in. There's like crowds of people, but I'm like coming in. I'm like, take my money, like I'm late enough, please, you know, whatever. I get my money exchanged. Next task is finding a taxi and hopefully getting to where I need to go. So I just described the most stressful moment of my life, but you know, it was about 40-minute taxi ride and we get there. And the papa of the house was there to greet me and settle me in, and they prepared a meal for me, the traditional dal bhat, which is pretty much just rice and lentils. But then he took me and another girl who was staying there up to a hilltop restaurant with some of his buddies. After we had some drinks and some awesome food, we hiked up this like little hill behind it, and this was the best moment of my life. It's the first day I get to Nepal all by myself, and I'm sitting up here and I'm just thinking, like, wow. Just wow. Like, how could I, little old me, manage to do all of that by myself? And you know, I found Nepal through my youth group and later went with a photography-based mission group, and I still can't believe that to this day. If you want to hear more about how that all came together, watch my very first video I posted. I'll also leave it in the description below. But anyways, I fell in love with Nepal so much. Like, I can't even explain, you know? And I told myself, I'll be back. And I made it happen, which is something I never expected myself to be able to do. To travel to Nepal all by myself, you know, at 19, okay? Is just a crazy feeling of fulfillment, you know? And I remember just sitting on that little hill looking over the city of Kathmandu, just like in such amazement. Yeah, no, I'll never forget that. Getting emotional here. But anyways, I felt on top of the world. I mean, I was in the Himalayan mountains, so I pretty much was on top of the world, right? That whole trip was the best experience of my life. I know I grew so much from that whole experience. We went on a motorcycle trip across half of the country of Nepal, which is crazy, and I'll also leave a couple links to those videos down below in case you want to go check out what else I did in Nepal while I was there. So yeah, that was the story behind the greatest moment of my life. Let me know you enjoyed the story by hitting that like button. Comment down below a great moment from your life, and feel free to let me know what videos you would like to see me do in the future. And also hit that subscribe button so you know when I post new videos. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time.